And it worked. They eliminated her.
Whoa! Lots of views, 50-50 like-dislike ratio. What's going on here? Hold on.
Despite fierce calls for her ouster, the Harvard Corporation, along with hundreds of faculty members at the Ivy League school, have decided to stand behind their president, Claudine Gay. Now, even a politically motivated attempt at getting her fired due to allegations of plagiarism didn't seem to work. And we'll give you the details on that in just a moment. But before we do,
I haven't been keeping up too much with what's going on at Harvard, but my understanding is that the school is protecting their students and not letting a bunch of like billionaires and autocrats tear them apart for being pro-Palestinian. And as a consequence of that, there is an effort to oust the president. So her staying there is good.
It's unclear what Harvard's code of conduct on plagiarism was at the time that she put this work out. So here's her.
Okay, before you do that, let me just explain. After she's done with this, these are all hatchet jobs.
It is a hatchet job.
Horse crap.
It's all
I'm going to explain why this is all garbage, a burning pile of total garbage. Go ahead.
Okay, but let me also say this, okay? It's clearly politically motivated, okay? The hatchet job is clear to me as well. But if there are specific, hold on, Cenk, listen to me for a second.
Oh, no.
If there are substantial examples of her engaging in plagiarism,
what is, I don't even understand what the relevance is in like discussing this specific point, I guess it's like, I didn't think this is what they were going to argue about. I mean, maybe the plagiarism happened, maybe it did. It's just uninteresting to me in the broader context of like this neo-McCarthyite bullshit.
A problem if she's the president of a university.
Yeah, I'll explain later. Just get through the BS first.
Okay, no, you go ahead, Cenk. Go ahead.
I don't know why Cenk's being so combative though. What the fuck? Like, what couldn't Cenk just say like, yeah, but I think ultimately like since this is pretty transparently an attempt to divert our attention and sort of pile on, like I don't think too much like thought should be given to this, even if there is something that what's happening?
Okay, it's garbage. It's garbage. Okay.
Go ahead.
So guys, here's what happens. Okay, once someone sticks their neck out and challenges the powerful, they then dig into their lives and they go, okay, we got to find some transgression so we can invent a scandal. And they'll get some hack like Rufo and some.
She included citations but forgot some quotation marks. Wait, so the plagiarized materials, there were citations there? I thought it said that they didn't have the citations or the quotation marks. If they had the citations but not the quotation marks, then it's obviously not plagiarism. It was either or, not both. Oh, okay, then there's nothing here. Okay. Okay, yeah, if it's cited or if there's if there's one or the other, then there's nothing, literally nothing here, Then it's just an improper citation, which everyone makes mistakes, At
a rando place like Washington Free Beacon and a Substack account, okay, whatever the hell that is, okay, and they'll say, okay, this is just serious charges, and they'll repeat words like plagiarism 100 times, and all the headlines will say plagiarism, and then when you look into it, what did Harvard conclude? 4 inadequate citations. Jaywalking is a significantly higher crime. Okay, that when the best you got is 4 inadequate citations, basically you're saying we dug and dug and dug to try to bury her and find one thing wrong in her life, but we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. So we got something where she left out quote marks, but put the citation in. We got a thing where she joined with another author. We got a thing where she quoted her own advisor. Sometimes in cases like this, because whenever they go after academics, their #1 hatchet job is plagiarism. Why plagiarism? Because it sounds so bad, right? And the average person doesn't understand plagiarism at all. And so they go, inadequate citations, and it makes it sound like, wow. It's nonsense, total. So sometimes on plagiarism charges, they'll say,
yeah, Cenk 2024, huh?
When you look into the details, she quoted herself but didn't cite it. Oh, come on, guys, come on. So this is what I call needle in a haystack. So are they trying to represent the totality of her career, the haystack, or are they trying to find a needle in that haystack, pull it out and go, look at this needle, that's what she's about, that one time that she got a citation wrong. Fire her, fire her. And who's Bill Ackman? Bill Ackman is one of the worst people in the country. He's a hedge fund manager who bribes, campaign contributions to politicians, buys them off left and
man, I've said many times before that if Alex Jones was left-leaning, he would be a hero for our people. But I'm starting to think not, because a lot of people in chat are just cringing at Cenk literally being left-wing Alex Jones behaviorally, So I don't know, maybe that behavior can only be appreciated from a distance, but if it's too close.
right, left and right, gives a ton of money to his alma mater. And when he heard this, he's like, well, no criticism of Israel ever, fire her. I mean, I'm worried about an inadequate citation from 1987. So I'm really concerned about her academic situation. Guys, when they find something this minor, that means, oh my God, she was squeaky clean. Oh, she led an immaculate life. I challenge any of you.
Vaush, he's making good points. I don't know. I love it. Yeah, no, he's not saying anything wrong here. I think he was kind of weird how aggro he was with Anna, but then Anna immediately snapped back, which makes me wonder what she's going to respond with. So I like, no, points wise, he's completely correct here. You know, yeah.
To go through this kind of process and have them come up with only 4 inadequate citations, that means you're pretty much an angel. So this is nothing but a hatchet job. It has 0 validity.
So Cenk, the reason why I get frustrated with you is because you're itching to engage in your rant so desperately that you don't even give me an opportunity to lay out all the facts before you engage in your rant, in which you undermine and minimize the evidence that I'm gonna show that shows that it's more than just the lack of citations 4 separate times.
Okay, so a couple of points here. First of all, I do think that Cenk was rude with how he initially responded to Anna. Second of all, if she has information to bring forward, then yeah, sure. But third of all, I personally don't think there's any point in even engaging with the plagiarism allegations at all. It was literally described by Christopher Rufo as a disingenuous effort to pile on to the real issue, which is like Zionist, McCarthy bullshit. You know, like if it turned out she had actually engaged in plagiarism, I still wouldn't call for her to resign because it's very obvious that she would be resigning for standing up to the Zionists, you know what I mean? Like nothing here has anything to do with the plagiarism. It's a secondary tangential side issue. How is he rude? And Vaush explained, oh, I just think he kind of like, you know, bit on her a bit at the beginning and sort of cut her off, but you know, it's sort of escalating rapidly here, you know?
Yeah, I'm not gonna engage in their hatchet jobs.
Look, listen.
No, that has no validity.
Okay, all right, fine, has no validity. If your take is, I don't care if she engaged in any plagiarism because this is politically motivated, then just say it. But that's
my take. I mean, if you want to circle back to this with the plagiarism bit in the future, let that be handled by academic, you know, scrutiny, not like this gigantic crowd of right-wing Zionists who clearly don't give a shit and are just using this as like a, you know, side issue.
My point is, even though I believe it is politically motivated that they're going after her, if there are substantial examples of her engaging in plagiarism at a university where students get expelled when they engage in plagiarism, it's a problem.
But they already did the analysis, Anna. So now we're gonna do a double analysis on some jackass substacker who's obviously doing it for political reasons. And guess what? By the time that they reevaluate their second set of nonsense charges, she'll already be fired. And Bill Ackman will go, yes, I won again. Send in the bull BS reporters to find the real problems.
They did an analysis of the first round of plagiarism allegations that came out in October. But a new round of allegations came out.
A new round. Okay. Look at that. Right. What a surprising twist. A new round of allegations. Let's see if we can find more inadequate citations.
This is good. This is good. I like this. This is great. This actually, I mean, it is like an argument that is being made. Okay, in fairness, even though I fundamentally agree with Cenk here, Cenk is making this impossible to resolve. Like it is literally, like it is clearly not possible to resolve anything here with him acting this way. Even if I generally agree with what he's saying. Turbo content pill, true. Nobody wants to admit you're right when you're an asshole about it. Well, it's not just a matter of admitting you're right. Everyone lionizes like, oh, well, he might be right, but he's an asshole. You're not Rick Sanchez. Like, it's not that hard to be right and also deliver the information correctly. There's no partial credit. If you're right, but you're insufferable about it, that's just you fucking up. You got to be wrong despite being right, you know? Like, it's like you have to be right and also deliver that information in a way that people want to hear, because otherwise you're just doing it for your own sake. It's like jerk off shit, you know? Yeah, everyone wants to be Rick Sanchez. Like, well, you know, hey, I can't argue with his methods or whatever, you know, fucking everyone's house, you know, yeah, burp, Morty, yeah. Anyway, so there were 2 rounds of, see, I guess it's just weird that he keeps interrupting her because I want to hear her actually talk about the shit. Like, she printed out stuff. Like, if she wants to talk about it, I don't think it's relevant to the broader discourse here, but if she has info, I want to hear it.
I don't care.
Just finish. Okay, then you don't care.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if you
about that.
No.
Be honest about the fact that you don't care.
I don't care.
Okay,
I don't care.
That's fine.
If you found out, no, I don't care. Let me explain. Let me explain.
Okay.
If you found out that she committed a robbery in 1997, went into somebody's house, broke the door down, and stole their radio, I still wouldn't care because you're trying to eliminate her because she said something you don't like. Don't go back into the past, find the tiniest little transgressions, and then we're gonna have a debate over this poor woman's life and over her career. No, I'm not going to engage with bad faith actors.
I think that what Cenk is describing here is actually very important politically, because this is exactly how they got dissidents in the Soviet Union. In surveillance states, totalitarian governments, and any other system where people are heavily scrutinized, it's possible for you to upset the powers that be without having actually broken any rules, but the rules are so vague and their knowledge on you is so significant that they can always find something to arrest you for. That's how they got people in the Soviet Union. A lot of the rules were pretty vague, but everyone knew everything, and they kept very detailed records of what they knew about you. So, like, if they didn't like you, they could find a reason. And the consequence of that, then, is that there really isn't a rule of law. It's basically just if you piss off people in power, they will find something on you, you know? So I think it's very important in situations where a person is very clearly being targeted, or like a backlash is largely being built off of, you know, them digging on a person, unless what they dug for is really, really significant and relevant. I think that by default, you should just ignore it. Or maybe not ignore it. You can address it later. You can take that into account and deal with it properly later, but don't like buy into the broader attack. If you're a political dissident in like 1952 Soviet Union, and then like some fucking, KGB agents do a bit of digging, and it turns out that, like, you know, you had an unpaid fine from 7 years ago or some shit, you know, that like everyone has basically, but they found yours, and it's like, oh, 10 years gulag, you know, you don't side with them because it's like, oh yeah, well, yeah, he had a fine, you know, like you don't do that, right? Because you understand that maybe the fine should be dealt with, but in the context present, like that's not really what's happening here. You also don't want to incentivize a system where that's how you go after people, you know?
Who have shown 1,000 times over that they're full of crap and they're looking to destroy people's lives. So no, let me be very clear. I have no interest in a debate about plagiarism from 20, 30 years ago. So-called. When the first round of plagiarism came up with no plagiarism, none. They were lying, and they're always lying.